So we studied the Palki. We designed the Palki for Ajanta. And then we put up in our Tech Fest 2014 exhibition. The scientific advisor to the Prime Minister was visiting our exhibition and he saw our Ajanta Palki. He said, this looks lightweight and this looks good.
See, I was visiting Jammu and Kashmir and I had a meeting with Governor N.N. Vora, and he mentioned that there are Palki bearers who have to carry the pilgrims, and it's a very, very difficult job for them because the Palki is quite heavy and also the pilgrims are sometimes quite heavy. I knew about your Center for Innovation and Design, and you had told me that you had designed a Palki for tourists to Ajanta. And then I said, can you redesign this Palki for the Vaishno Devi pilgrims? That's how the project started.
We got a requirement from Vaishno Devi. The governor of Jammu was very concerned about the porter's plight because it is very arduous route, very long route, 14.5 kilometers they take pilgrims. So in this situation, he said, why don't you work on the Palki? You know, from our study of innovation, you know, the context is critical, the comprehension is critical. So we clearly knew that this particular Palki, which is for Ajanta, will not work for Vaishno Devi. We must know that, you know, the contexts are different, the people are different, the terrain is different. So we started work on the Vaishno Devi Palki. We visited Vaishno Devi. We went over there and we checked how they carry the people. You saw in Ajanta, 4 guys were standing, 2 people standing next to each other. In the Vaishno Devi shrine, they are actually standing one behind the other. There are a number of reasons for this, and we'll understand why this is, you know, so critical for them. And then they also have very interesting camaraderie. They are together as a group, 4 of them. They know each other very well. They plan their trip, you know, very effectively. Long journey. It's very strenuous. It's 14.5 kilometers. It takes 3.5 hours to reach, and you're carrying loads as high as 80 to 140 kilos. Sometimes elderly can go up till 140, 160, and they can't say no to anybody. They've been on this job for a number of years. You know, their children are doing it. Their parents did it. So it's a legacy. They know how to handle their situations. I'd like to quickly show you a small video. You saw how the porter actually was moving. The load is very heavy. They keep, you know, shifting from one shoulder to another. And with that shifting, they actually distribute the load among themselves. And they also in sequence, once the first person shifts the load, the second person shifts the load on the other, and then the third, and then the fourth. They have a very good sequence and a good understanding on how this can go forward. So we visited with our team of designers. We visited the shrine. We looked at how, you know, the porters are working and what are these, you know, livelihood opportunities. We also went to their villages. Nearly 1,000 to 1,500 porters are there in Katra region in Jammu, and all of them, their livelihoods are dependent only on this job. So there was a motorable road which was done, and they were planning to procure electric vehicles for the motorable road. And then there was a big strike where some 1,500 of these people went to the governor and said, you're killing our children, we'll lose our livelihood and we'll go hungry. So it's a very interesting social trend. So now tell me, do you let this happen because the porters really have musculoskeletal problems? So do you improve this or you completely eliminate this? Is a question we need to ask ourselves. Some of my students said, sir, you shouldn't work on such a project because, you know, it's really bad for the porters to carry so much load. Whereas another school of thought is make the Palki lighter. Another school of thought will say, no, this should not be. You should put a ropeway, you should put an electric vehicle on the road, and you must not make people go through this hardship. So what stand will you take in this class? Yeah?
Ask the people in themselves, the porters themselves, as to what would they prefer.
That's a very good question, and they surely prefer to use the Palki because for them it is second nature.
But if they don't know what are the possibilities, they would like to continue with the way of life that they know.
That's also a good point. But they know the possibilities. If you have a motorable road, people will not use the Palki anymore.
Their possibility from their side is that they are going to be losing their job. That
Exactly.
they don't know that maybe they could be actually working with a particular system or something of the sort where
They could be getting jobs, you're right, it's possible. If I was at the Ministry of Social Justice, I would see to that when I implement a motorable road, all these 1,500 people will get some jobs. So the whole aspect is this, there are multi-level users for the Palki. Do you take care of the porters? Do you take care of the pilgrims? Do you look at the shrine board? And then, there were local vendors who were manufacturing this for them. Shrine board organized all this very effectively, saying that you have to be disciplined in this activity, there should be no accidents. So how do you weave all these people together in your study is a very important aspect.